We'll begin class in a few minutes. I'm going to give a little extra time um, for some other people to join. The first day is a little rocky sometimes, so it may be about 9:05 when we begin. So just so you know. Good morning. If you're just now joining me, go ahead and type your name in the chat box to sign into class. We're going to get started here in just a few minutes. All right, good morning, everybody. If you haven't signed into class, go ahead and type your name in the chat box to sign in for me. And we're going to get started in just a couple minutes. Okay, can everybody hear me okay? Go ahead and type a yes in the chat box if you can hear me. If you haven't typed your name in the chat box, please go ahead and do that. Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Sorry, it's a little rocky the first day of class, so we have to might have to let some more people join here in a minute. But we'll go ahead and get started. So you should be seeing a screen that says "Welcome to Reading Class," Instructor Jessica Brown. And I am Jessica Brown. I'll be your reading teacher for the next 4 weeks. Just a few things to talk about this morning. We will be meeting from here on out until the end of class on Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll do a live Zoom at 9 a.m. And you'll use the same Zoom link every time. And we will have a lesson for about 45 minutes or so. And then we will get off of Zoom. And then we have some lessons, some assignments that you'll complete for that next hour or so. And then we will meet again on Zoom at 11 a.m. to go over assignments and review the assignments. And that's kind of how class works. We do use Google Classroom. So if you're not familiar with Google Classroom, I will go over a couple of things with you real quick. Let's see. get to my Google Classroom. I have a lot of screens going, so give me just a sec. Okay. So let me look here. I'm going to share another screen with you so you can see it. Okay, so this is what your Google Classroom looks like. You should have got information in your email that I sent out. Excuse me. When you join the Google class and you're signed in, this is what it looks like. It'll automatically be in your stream. And you can see there's different tabs up here at the top. Stream, classwork, people, grades. So stream is where your information about your Zoom link is located here. So you can go straight to that from your Google Classroom. And then it should take you straight into your Zoom, but if for some reason you need meeting code and passcode, they're right here. I also have a Common Lit code. Commonlit.org is another website that we'll be using to do some of your work. And that code is always located right here in your stream. So Zoom link and your codes are always right here. And then we will look at classwork real quick. If you've been in here, you've probably seen the landing page, and it gives a little bit of information about me, information about the Common Lit website that we'll be using. And it has my contact information. I work Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 5:30. The best way to get a hold of me is through email or text. You can text me or email me outside of those hours, and I will respond as soon as I can. There's a section on how to submit assignments. So anytime you need to refer back to that, you can. And then there is the syllabus, which just goes over the class as a whole. And then there was a couple of quizzes about the syllabus and just a little tell me about yourself. So if you haven't done that, you might get to that today. And then we're going to have class 1 assignments. This is where all your assignments are located. But we'll come back to that here in just a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to go back to my other screen real quick. I say real quick, but I'm navigating several things here. So give me just one moment. Get this back up for you. Okay. Chat. Okay, does anybody have any questions so far? You can use your mic if you need to. You can type questions in the chat box. If you're new to Zoom and Google Class, don't panic. It's just, it takes a little time, but they are super easy to use and we'll walk you through some of that stuff. So right now, if you're in Zoom, and if you look down in your bottom of your screen, you should see a mute button that looks like a microphone. You can click on and off that to mute and unmute yourself. There should also be a chat box that looks like a little chat symbol, looks like a little conversation bubble. That is where your chat box is located. Let's see what else. I think that in your video, of course, if you wanted to show your face, you don't have to. A lot of people don't like to. Your face and your name does not show up in our recording, so just so you know. But if you ever want to use your voice chat or your camera, you are more than welcome to do so. Okay, we're going to get started here in just a moment. Let me Okay, so today I have a coffee fact for you. Anybody that knows me knows that I have an obsession with coffee. And my coffee fact for you today is that coffee is a fruit. Coffee beans grow on a bush. They are actually the pit of a berry, which makes them a fruit. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. There are two main varieties of beans, green and red. Red beans have a nicer smell and are less acidic. They are used to produce lighter coffees. The longer that coffee beans have been roasted, the healthier they are. Decaffeinated coffee comes from a chemical process where the caffeine is taken out of the beans. I don't know who would want to do that. I need that caffeine, but some people do. But anyways, the caffeine is then sold to mostly to Coca-Cola. They're a major buyer of caffeine. So that is just a little coffee fact for you today. And today we're going to get started talking about words in context. So when we're reading, you often come across words that you may not know. This happens to me. I have several degrees and read every day, and I still come across words that I don't know. But we can often find context clues in nearby words, phrases, or sentences that help us understand the meaning. Sometimes words are associated with the field or environment in which they are spoken, such as the medical field. If you look at these words on the screen, we have colosectomy, laparoscopic, cholestasis. I can't even say that word. And we may look at these words, and if we are not from the medical field and have a lot of experience with this, we have no idea what these words mean. I just happen to know laparoscopic means with a small scope. And the only reason I know that is because I've had experience with that type of surgery. If you have laparoscopic surgery, they make small incisions and use a very small scope to look around inside you. It's less invasive than an open surgery. But if I had not had experience, I am not in the medical field, I would not know what that meant. Okay. And it's the same, it may be the plumbing field. We have words like angle stop, backwater valve, gate valve. This is completely foreign to me. I have no idea what I'm looking at because I'm not a plumber. So how do we know what these words mean? Well, sometimes authors will give us clues. So let's talk about some reading clues that we can look for to help us find word meaning. Definitions. Definitions, sometimes words are followed by their definition in writing. So, for example, entomology is the study of insects. The word is in this sentence indicates the writer is about to give you the definition. Another way to look for clues is to pay attention to the punctuation that's used. So you could take a look at these statements. The definitions may be separated by commas in the sentence or dashes, or by adding other sentences. So for example, herbivores, comma, or plant eaters include rabbits. So in that first sentence, they're giving us the definition in between those two commas. The second one says herbivores dash plant eaters include rabbits. So they're using dashes to indicate the definition. Rabbits are herbivores. In other words, they eat plants. So in that one, they used a whole different sentence to follow up to give you the definition. Parentheses may be used to give a definition. So for example, the platypus is semi-aquatic. Well, I don't know what semi-aquatic means, but if I look in the parentheses behind that word, it gives me the definition. Lives part of his life in the water and part on land. That is the definition of semi-aquatic. Okay, so, but what if an author doesn't use punctuation? What might they do to give us clues? They might use opposites. So how would they give us opposites? So they do that by using words such as never, not, unless, while, on the contrary, things like that. So let's look at how opposites are used in writing. Okay. And like his quiet and low-key family, James is garrulous. Here's one of these opposite words, unlike. I've got it highlighted here in blue. That's an opposite word, it's an indicator, okay? I don't know what, I don't know what garrulous means, but the writer describes James as being unlike his family. And he says his family is quiet and low key. So if James is unlike them, what might that be? Would anybody want to take a guess at what garrulous means?
Careless.
What was that?
Careless.
Okay, so if his family is quiet and low key, what would be the opposite of quiet and low key?
Obnoxious.
Maybe loud, obnoxious, something to that effect.
Okay.
That's correct. Okay, so let's look at another one. Julie was loquacious, but Jan said little. In this sentence, but is used as an indicator of an opposite. So if Julie is loquacious, but Jan said little, then what might Julie be? So what would be the opposite of
A lot.
right? So if Julie is loquacious, that means she's talking a whole lot if it's the opposite of somebody that's saying a little. So that would be correct. Another clue we need to watch for is comparisons. So look for words like as, like, or to statements. Similar to, in the same way. These are comparison words. So I argued vociferously in favor of not moving to a new town. My little brother also argued loudly and strongly for staying put. So this big word, vociferously, I've never seen that before. I don't know what that means, but I'm trying to figure it out, okay? So we're looking for a comparison word. In this instance, we have the word also being used. So it's a comparison word. So my little brother also argued loudly and strongly for staying put. So we're comparing this first sentence, and it says my little brother also. So if she argued vociferously and her brother is arguing loudly and strongly also, what would vociferously likely mean?
Loudly and strongly.
Exactly.
Okay.
Very good.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, some other comparison words that give us clues to look for are such as, for instance, and for example. Let's see. The archaeologists found different amulets, such as a rabbit's foot and a beaded necklace. So I may not know what the word amulet means, but they're giving me a comparison phrase using such as, and then he's giving me some examples, a rabbit's foot and a beaded necklace. So an amulet is probably, does anybody know why people keep rabbit's foots?
Supposed to be for like good luck charms and stuff.
That's right, good luck. It's like a good luck charm. Beaded necklace, sometimes maybe a rosary. It's for prayer, it's for good luck. So an amulet is something kind of like a keepsake, something for luck.
Okay.
Okay, let's talk about lists and series. Writers may also give us list and series to describe a word. So what does that mean? So they may give you a word with a list of things that follow it. So for example, North American predators include grizzly bears, pumas, foxes, and wolves. So they're giving you a list. They're telling you that North American predators, and then they give you a list. So what is a predator? What do all these animals have in common?
They all seek prey.
That's right. They all hunt for food. They all seek prey. Okay, we're going to move on to another topic here. We're going to talk about cause and effect a little bit. Because the driver of the car ran the stop sign, he hit my van. So what is the cause in that sentence? The cause was that he ran the stop sign. The effect would be that he hit my van. That is cause and effect. Now let's talk about how cause and effect can help us determine word meaning. Okay, so in this sentence, it says, due to a dearth of rain, the plants died. What is the cause in this sentence?
And no rain, dearth of rain.
Right, dearth of rain. And what is the effect?
The plants died.
That is correct. The plants died. So what is dearth mean?
Dried out.
Yes. So even if we don't know necessarily dearth, maybe we've never seen that word,
I haven't.
the main cause of plants dying is dryness, lack of rain. So we could conclude that dearth means dryness or lack of rain. Sometimes authors don't give us a lot to go on, such as opposites or comparisons, but they may give us inferences. Okay. An inference simply means making a logical conclusion or guess. We do this every day. The meaning of an unfamiliar word can be inferred from the description of a situation or experience. Let's see. The monkey's vociferous chatter made me wish I had earplugs in. So if I wish I had earplugs in around this monkey, what does that say about the monkey?
It's very noisy.
Very noisy, making a lot of noise, probably pretty annoying. That's an inference. It didn't come out and say, you know, that he was annoying, but we can make that inference. Okay. So context clues help us unlock the meaning of words, sentences, and paragraphs. Is there any questions so far?
No.
We're going to take just a short 5-minute break. We will be back here at 9:35. You can go ahead and keep your Zoom up. But if you need to get a drink, use the bathroom, something like that, we'll meet back here at 9:35.
Okay.
Oh, we're fine. Okay, got it.
I might need to go over and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to do that. Yeah, she'll post it with you. Not the first class, and so we'll,
There will be a recording, so we'll go back and watch it again. Relative to try to explain it.
Because she said there will be assignment on the first. That we be doing in the next hour. And then the next hour, we're gonna go another Zoom for the. Right. So this is Zoom. It's going to have an assignment.
Yeah.
That we're gonna do after that the Zoom. And then we're gonna have a second Zoom to go over the. Yeah, but I don't miss anything.
Well, you might understand more than you think once you get to the assignment as well. Yeah. You'll be okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay.
You gotta get 98%.
Oh, 98.
That's right.
Yes, 98. So you want to slow down just a little bit, you want to try to keep this about the same. And sometimes it's hard to kind of know until you've done one.
I think, yeah, usually like I have my own
Sure.
Chrome
Yeah.
laptop, and so I just go back and I capitalize them
Yes.
after.
Yes. And
The
so that's
periods
definitely
and
a
commas
thing.
in and
Yes. And it will get you on those. And so a lot of times it's just kind of filling
Yeah.
it out at first. So fill that. Let's try to see how it goes. And then there are lessons and stuff too. If it looks like this one's gonna be one, this month, we could skip it for now, go through the others, and then you'd be able to do some of the time. Just for extra practice before you try it again. Oh, I believe you. A lot of people have. It's a lot of times that's not what we're looking for. People are looking for when they're doing it. They will learn to type yes, but they weren't made to get a certain margin in that. So, anyway, try to get some of those because now you have an idea of what it's gonna adopt you towards.
Yeah, I mean, I just gotta.
Give it a try.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, we're back. Is everybody back with me? So how many of you love coffee? Who doesn't love coffee? I have to have coffee. And now that you know that it's a fruit, you could just say that you have your fruit every day. My daughter laughs at me because she finds coffee like K-cups and creamer in my purse all the time. Because I'm always sticking it in my purse on my way out the door. All right, we're going to get started back. The next thing we're going to talk about is figurative language. So writers use literal and figurative language. In literal language, words are used according to their accepted meaning. In figurative language, words are used to mean more than their usual definition. So if you've ever heard the saying, it's a figure of speech, figurative language is meant to help readers visualize things in a different way. So some types of figurative language are the use of similes, metaphors, personification, illusion, maybe oxymorons, hyperboles, and idioms. So let's talk about a few of these. So let's talk about a simile. A simile compares two things using the words like or as. So for example, she is as sweet as pie, or his personality is colorful like crayons. These are similes. They're comparing two things using those words like or as. One way to remember the meaning of a simile is remembering that the word is like similar, which means something is like something. And similes use the word like or as to compare two things. That's how I remember it. I don't know if that helps you or not, but some more examples of similes. This house is as clean as a whistle. Watching golf is like watching paint dry. I am not a fan of watching golf. Maybe playing it myself would be a lot more interesting, but just watching golf like on TV and stuff like that, it is like watching paint dry to me. He is as funny as a barrel of monkeys. All of these are similes. They're comparing two things using like or as. A metaphor compares two things or ideas without using the words like or as. For example, it's raining cats and dogs. Is it actually raining cats and dogs? No, that just means that it's raining heavily. It's a heavy downpour. This is a metaphor. This is comparing two things without using like or as. Some examples of metaphors. America is a melting pot. The world is a stage. My daughter's room is a disaster area. That's absolutely true. Life is a roller coaster. So in these examples, we aren't using like or as to compare something. We're just simply saying it is something. We're comparing it without using like or as. One of the funniest examples of a metaphor, I don't know, do we have any Friends fans?
Yeah.
I love the show Friends. If you haven't ever watched it, you should. It's hilarious. I've watched all of them at least 10 times and they still make me laugh. But on the very first episode of Friends, Rachel, one of the main characters, she is very kind of a spoiled rich girl. Her daddy's a doctor and she's about to get married, but she leaves her husband at the altar and runs off. She goes and finds her friend Monica, and she's at Monica's apartment and hiding out there. Well, her dad tracks her down and calls her, and she's trying to explain to him why she left her husband or her fiance at the altar. And she says, I don't know, all of my life, it's like everyone told me, you're a shoe, you're a shoe, you're a shoe. And today I just stopped and said, what if I don't want to be a shoe? What if I want to be a purse? Or, a hat. And her dad's saying, well, I'll buy you a hat. And she goes, no, I'm not saying I want you to buy me a hat. I'm saying I am a hat. It's a metaphor, Daddy. But that's just a funny example of a metaphor. Personification. Let's talk about that a little bit. So personification is giving human characteristics to animals or objects. So for example, the leaves danced their way through the lawn. Do leaves actually dance? No, that's a human characteristic, but we can use that to describe in detail what the leaves look like. So they were actually blowing across the lawn, but to give it a more vivid description, we can say the leaves danced their way through the lawn. That is personification. The sea was angry. Well, does the sea actually have emotions? No, that's a human characteristic. But we can use those human characteristics to objects or things or animals to paint a more vivid picture of what we're trying to describe. So if the sea was angry, that probably means it was very rough. There was a lot of crashing waves, things like that. Okay, next is the hyperbole. A hyperbole is an exaggerated claim that emphasizes a point. So for example, I almost died laughing. Well, did I actually almost die laughing? No, but that just means I was laughing really, really hard. And that's an extreme exaggeration. That's a hyperbole. Donald Trump, he was and is notorious for using hyperboles. Everything was always exaggerated when he talked about it. For example, I have the world's best memory, and that everybody knows that. There has never been a presidency that has done so much in a short period of time. Like, he was always over the top. And I'm not just picking on Donald Trump, whether you love him or hate him. He just used a whole lot of hyperboles. Many of you may know, before he was president, he was a businessman, a very successful one. And he's written several books. One of them was called The Art of the Deal. And he is quoted in his book saying, I play to people's fantasies. I call it truthful hyperbole. It's an innocent form of exaggeration and very effective form of promotion. So he always made these exaggerated claims to make a point or to emphasize a point. Those are hyperboles. Okay, does anybody have any questions for me so far about anything in this lesson? Anything you didn't understand? Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen, and I'm going to go back to our Google screen here in a minute. Share a different screen with you. Okay, so what we're going to do now is when we get off this Zoom meeting, excuse me, you're going to get into your Google Classroom, and you're going to go, when you first get in, oh, hold on. Let me see. Okay, you should be seeing the Google Classroom screen now. So when you first get in, you're going to be automatically in the stream. You'll want to move over to classwork, and you will want to scroll down. You will want to scroll down to today. Today is class 1, May 4th. And these are the lessons that I want you to do. You're going to have determine word meaning. workplace word and context, reading context clues video, figurative language, and then you'll have a common lit. So I want you to try to get to at least these 4, and then if you get to common lit, that's great. I know this looks like a lot, but these are short little assignments. So you'll just click on your assignment and view. You'll be able to view assignment. Yours looks different because mine's a teacher view. But I do want you to work through those today. And then that's what you're going to do over the next hour or so, hour and 15 minutes. And we will meet back here at 11, and we're going to go over these assignments and answer any questions you might have. I will show you the Common Lit. Common Lit will take you to another website like this. So what you're going to do is up here in the corner, you'll see a sign up. And you're going to click on that, and you're going to say, I'm a student. And then it's going to ask you for a class code. So that class code is going to be back here. If you go back to your stream in Google, you will scroll down here and it says use the following code to join your Common Lit class. So you can just copy and paste that. We're going to paste it in there and submit. And then it's going to ask you to sign up with Common Lit. You're just basically making a username and password that you'll need to remember to get back into that account. And you just set up your account. And when you're in there, I'll show you what it looks like. It's going to look something like this. You're going to see an assignment called Celebrating Cinco de Mayo. And you're just going to click on it, and it's going to bring it up for you. And you'll just start reading. And when you get to a question, it's going to say like Q1, that's question 1. You would just click on that. And it's going to bring up a question, and you just pick your answer. And I think there's only like 5 or 6. Oh, this one's short. It's 4 questions. So, but that's kind of how you use Common Lit. Let's see. So does anybody have any questions about what they're supposed to do right now? Oops. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to break for now. I'll need you to go ahead and type your name in the chat box again to sign out of class. And then as soon as you do that, you'll be free to go. And then you're going to work on today's assignments listed in Google Class. And then we are going to meet back here at 11 a.m. So in another hour and 10 minutes or so. And we will go over those assignments, and I'll answer any questions you might have. Okay, I'll see you in just a little bit.